These are pre-algebra notes for section 4.4. We're going to interpret two-way frequency tables. We'll start with our vocabulary. We have two terms. Our first term is categorical data. So that is like the word category. And categorical data consists of data that falls into categories, so not numerical. So it might be like if you play soccer or if you play baseball, or if you like to go to the beach or you like to visit the mountains. So it's not numerical data, it's just going to use categories. And then our other term is a two-way frequency table, and that's what we're going to look at today. And a two-way frequency table is a displays the relationship between paired categorical data. You can interpret the data in the table to draw conclusions. So we're going to fill them in, and then we're going to answer questions about it. So this first table measures winter activity. So we're looking at people that like to ski, sled, or ice skate. And then we're also looking at just if they are a boy or a girl. So if you were doing this survey, you would ask, are you a boy or a girl? You would know. And then what do you prefer, skiing, sledding, or ice skating? So they're giving you two pieces of data. So we're going to start by filling this or by answering these questions. This says that the owners of a ski resort want to know which is more popular, skiing or snowboarding. The resort conducts a poll asking visitors their age and which activity they prefer. So that's the two categories, age and activity. The results are shown in the table. So people that are 35 and under are one category, and over 35 is another category. And then they're asking if they prefer skiing or snowboarding. So let's answer that question. Use the table to describe the visitors polled. So we grouped them into two categories. $35 and over. And then, 35 and under, excuse me. And then over 35. What information can the owners of the ski resort determine from the data in the table? So let's look. People that are over 35, more like skiing than snowboarding. And if you're 35 and under, there's more people that like snowboarding. So we could describe those two things. So 35 and under prefer snowboarding, because that was 31 out of the 43 people in that age group. And then for the over 35, they prefer skiing. Make a statement that is supported by the data. And I really should say more over 35-year-olds. And more 35 and under-year-olds prefer snowboarding. Now, when it asks to make a statement that is supported by the data, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. But if we look at those columns, 45 people preferred skiing, 55 preferred snowboarding. So we can say overall, more more people prefer snowboarding. Okay, now we're going to fill in a frequency table. So let's scroll back up and look at this one first. So if I'm looking at the age, there were 35 and under, and those were broken into people that like skiing and snowboarding. And that was a total of 12 that said skiing, 31 that like snowboarding. That makes a total of 43 people who were surveyed that are 35 and under. Over 35, there were 33 that said skiing, 24 that said snowboarding, so that's 57. And when we add those, we're going to get our total of 100. So we want to use that total to kind of help guide us through this next process. A weatherman asked 75 people from 2 different cities if they own rain boots. Complete the two-way frequency table and show the results of the survey. So we need to put that 75 somewhere. That's my total. That's my total, bottom right corner. Okay, so now I can see that, look how many people, if there were, oops, I wrote 35, there should be 75. If 34 people don't own rain boots, but those 2 boxes equal 75, that means this box would be 75 minus 34. So 41. Now I can see, I'm just going to start filling in empty boxes. It's kind of like a puzzle. So what number would go in for the people in City A that have rain boots? So I can tell that 41 people said yes, they have rain boots. 28 of those people were in City B. That means there are 13 in City A. And if I go across that row, 13 plus 19 is 32 total. Now I'm going to fill in how many people in City B said they don't own rain boots. And I can see in that no column, there's a 19. We've got a blank spot, and it's going to make 34. So that should be 15. Because 19 plus 15 is 34. And in the last box in that row, 28 plus 35, we're going to add them up. So 28 plus 15, so 28 plus 10, it would be 38. Add 5 more, that would be 43. And when we add these two, 32 plus 43, we'll get 75. So we did our math correctly. Okay, now the next one says the two-way frequency table shows the results of a media survey. People responded to the question, do you spend more time watching the Winter or Summer Olympics on television? So I'm going to highlight that question. More time watching Winter or Summer Olympics. Decide if the following statement is true. So this says that more men than women prefer the Winter Olympics. So we're going to look at men. And if it helps you to organize it this way, the table says that 45 men said winter. And only 34 men said summer. So the statement says more men than women prefer the Winter Olympics. Well, the men would be that 45, and really I should have looked at the women. Only 27 women said winter. So is the statement true? Yes, the statement is true. Okay, now we're going to construct a two-way table. So we're going to fill it in ourselves. 200 people responded to a survey. That is a big number right away. That is our big total. Of those who had green eyes, 7 had blonde hair, 9 had brown, 2 had red. So we're going to go to the row that has green eyes. 7 had blonde hair, 9 had brown, 2 had red. So if we add those, that should be a total of 7 plus 9 is 16. Add 2 more, so that's 18 total. Of those who had brown eyes, 76 had blonde hair, 89 had brown hair, 17 had red hair. So let's fill those numbers in. Brown eyes, so we're going to go to the brown eyes column. Oh, no, brown eyes row, sorry. 76 had blonde, 89 had brown, 17 had red. And when we add those up, that should be a pretty big number. So 17 plus 89 plus 76. 182. And I know that's going to work because if I added those two totals, those totals would make my total, which is 200. So now we're just going to add those rows. 76 plus 7 equals 83. 89 plus 9 equals 98. And 17 plus 2 equals 19. And if I add those numbers up, '83 plus 98 plus 19, we're going to get a total of 200. So that was what we were supposed to do for A. B says to identify the least common combination of eye and hair color. So it would be the number with the box with the smallest number. So that's going to be green eyes and red hair. Only 2 out of 200 had it. Okay, this is our last one. 100 students were asked about how they got to school. So there we go. Right off the bat, we've got a number to put in the box. So 100 goes in the total bottom right corner. Of the girls, 19 rode in a car, 7 rode the bus, and 27 took the train. So I'm going to fill all those numbers in. So I'm going to go to the row where it has girls, 19 in a car, 7 on the bus, 27 on the train. So we want to find a total. We want to find a total for that. So 19 plus 7 is 26 plus another 27 should be 53. Of the boys, 12 took the train, 25 rode in a car, and 10 rode the bus. So we're going to fill those numbers in. 12 took the train, 25 were in a car, 10 rode the bus. Now, when we add those up, their total should combine with 53 to make 100. So their total should be 47. So 25 plus 10 is 35, plus another 10 is 45. Add 2 more, that's 47. And now we're going to just find the totals of those columns. 25 plus 19. Let's see, if I added 20, that would be 45, but I'm adding one less than that, so 44. 10 and 7 makes 17. And 12 and 27 makes 39. Which mode of transportation is the most popular? Well, it's the column that has the most. So that's a car. It has the highest frequency. Okay, that's it for section 4.4.